Hello everyone, Ron Johnson here from L.T.L Tutoring Central. And if you're looking for tips and strategies to help with your learning, you are in the right place. What about John? What about Sarah? What am I talking about? You're probably wondering from the title in this video. Well, a lot of students pay much more attention to other students in the classroom than they do to their own learning. They're more interested in finding out who's doing the best, who gets to leave the room first, and less attention on your own education. How are you doing? And that's what I'm addressing here. I'm addressing the idea that you don't need to pay attention to what everyone else is doing in the school or in the classroom. You need to pay as much attention as you can to your own work, your own effort, your own progress. I have students who tell me, John in the class always get A's. He's always getting an A on everything he does. He's so smart. Well, that might be true, and if that is true, be happy for him. Be pleased that he's doing so well. You don't have to be jealous, and you definitely do not need to compete with him in the sense that if you're writing a test and he's always finished first, you don't have to try to rush to see if you can finish first, or at least you don't want to be far behind John, right? Because he always finishes first. Finishing first, by the way, doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing well. It's possible that you didn't know the answers to the questions. It's possible that you missed an entire page of questions on the back. There's lots of reasons why someone might be finished first, and sometimes you are allowed to leave the classroom. And this is what other students pay attention. Oh, so-and-so's left. Someone else is left. Someone else is left. I better hurry up. Why am I don't want to be the last one done. It's not a race. You don't have to be the first one out. So taking your time, making sure that you have completed all of the questions, that you have proofread them, edited them if they need editing, if it's writing. Also, you can check back with multiple choice questions or fill in the blanks. Just make sure that you've completed them all and that you've done them as well as possible. Be careful of changing your answers on multiple choice because research has shown that often your first answer is the best, but not always. And sometimes later in the test, you will find answers to questions that came before. So you can read, if you read it over again, you might be surprised to find that you know answers now that you didn't when you first responded to them. So in that case, it's a good idea to make that change. If you rushed and just left, you would never have that opportunity, right? So maybe you were one of the first to finish the test, but that doesn't mean that you did your best. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't worry about Sarah. Sarah may be a wonderful student or she may not be a wonderful student. Your interest is in what you can do. Now, if Sarah gets an excellent mark on an essay, for example, or on a math test that she's completed, you might want to see if you can get some tips from Sarah. Rather than be jealous or try to compete with her, you might be able to join a study group. You might be able to just talk to her and see if she would be willing and able to help you in areas that you have difficulty doing. Now, she may not be interested. She may not be willing. She may not even be able to do it. I don't know. But that's what you should be looking at, is how can you help with your own education? Don't worry about how well or how poorly other people are doing. Of course, if you are able to help someone else, if John or Sarah, I'm just using these names to keep it limited, if they're having difficulty in a particular course or area, or just in general, you might be able to help them, and that will help you. I've talked about this lots of times. If you are teaching or helping someone else, then you also learn the material better yourself. So there's lots of ways in which you can trade off help, and often a student is very good in one arena, but not necessarily in another. So you might be able to find a balance between certain students or groups of students as well. And you'll be able to help someone with math, and they will be able to help you with reading comprehension or writing an essay or something of that nature. But do not worry. And by the way, I did have a student, and actually this has happened more than once in different variations, but tell me that so-and-so is so exceptional in school. I wish I were like her, or I wish I were like him, and they never get anything wrong. They always know the answers. And sometimes months or sometimes even a year or two later, I actually have that same student in my tutoring. And he or she is often a very good student, but not always exceptional, and sometimes has real challenges in some areas that you just don't know or you don't see when you're in the classroom. So don't always think that you know how someone else is doing. And anyways, don't worry about it. Focus on your own work. Focus on what you can do to make yourself better. What steps do you need to follow, and how can you get there? So if you had a D in math last term or last year, and now you have a C, celebrate that. Keep moving forward. Go for the B next time, but celebrate that. Do not put yourself down, and do not judge yourself against the A students in the class. There may be many reasons why they are a little better at math, but don't worry about that. Work on the steps to move yourself up from the D to the C to the B to the A. And it isn't going to go smoothly. It'll bounce up and down, but keep working on it and you can get there. I think that's all I wanted to say today. It was really just to inform you to focus on your education. It's not a competition. The overall education isn't. I think competition is good sometimes. I think that's great. I'm not anti-competition, but for your overall education, it's really about you and your growth. And everyone grows at different rates. Everyone learns at different rates. Everyone has different strengths. So why would you expect that if you're in one classroom with 10 other students or 20 other students or however many there are, that you are going to be the same as all of those, or that you're going to be at the top of that class? That it doesn't really make sense. It's fairly random. And with all the variations in ages and learning levels and learning challenges, etc., of course, it's not going to be the same for everyone. And it's impossible for you to always be at the top of your class. Well, there are a few people who seem to be able to do that, but many of them have problems in other areas that we don't see often. So sometimes you hear about it later. There are so-called geniuses, genius children who have huge social issues and other kinds of problems. So don't be jealous. Don't be envious of other people. If they can help you, great. If you can help them, that's fantastic. But otherwise, just focus on your own learning and the steps that you need to take. All right, I think I'm starting to circle and ramble now. It's Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central. Don't forget to click on the like button if you did like the video. Click on subscribe and the notification bell if you want to get notifications when there's a new video coming up. All of those things help this learning channel helps move it up in the ratings, and I really do appreciate it. In the meantime, keep learning and keep having fun. Bye-bye for now.